Hey guys, it's Chris Pre with SmartRealEstateCoach.com, and I want to go over a deal with you today that is a little bit above average. I tend to always water it down so that we don't overemphasize anything and we don't make any, high-end promises, but I will tell you ahead of time, disclosure, this is above average. This is not the normal deal, but I want to walk you through it because you will, by staying out there and calling on enough people, enough homes where people need your help, you will find these deals. You're going to see in this deal that we absolutely made a seller and a buyer extremely happy by purchasing a home through lease purchase and then selling it to our tenant buyer. The source of this property isn't expired. On that note, side note here, please make sure you get a hold of the expired dialing process that my son-in-law Zach has on our membership area. It is super important, because we've gone from me manually dialing, say 4 years ago, well, as recent as a year and a half ago, to totally automating the auto dialer to touch expireds and then have a callbacks from the ones that are, the low-hanging fruit, the high priority leads. So it's an expired listing that was called. We bought this property for, now, Steve, stay with me, and if you have questions on it, just email me. But we bought this property for the balance of the mortgage plus about, balance of the mortgage plus about 40 grand cash. The total is 618. Okay. Long story short, the cash is around 40K. When are we paying this? At the end of the term, and the mortgage is the difference there, whatever that comes to. Okay. Now, the mortgage, the price of the mortgage, because they had a first and a second, and they decided they'll keep paying on the second because it's part of a line of credit they use. Long story short, we're only paying on the first, but the lump sum has to be paid off at the end, okay? So the first mortgage is only $1,260, but this property has a very high tax rate. It's in a flood zone, so it has flood insurance. Our total cost in this deal is $2,593. Now there's a lesson here, a very important one. Because this is pretty high, it's not too high for a property that we're going to go out and sell for $699. But I know in the rent-to-own world, we know that that is going to be a tougher number to crack when you start adding taxes, insurance, and everything on top of that, right? Because a mortgage payment at this price, with 20% down, which they're going to be required to eventually when they buy, the buyers, you have mortgage payments somewhere around $2,900, I figured, on today's rates. So I want to make sure the tenant buyer can get in the door, be comfortable, be able to save money, be able to get cashed out. That's the end game here. We want to help them, right? So here's what we did. We went on the market at $2,000. Now you say right away, if you're in the market for $2,000 and you're going to pay $25,000, what the heck? No, what we do is this. In our videos, it's very well explained, and when the buyers came in for the buyers meeting just yesterday here in the conference room, they were already well educated, went through all the videos and understood completely that they are responsible, in addition to this $2,000, for the $833 taxes, just like when they go to the bank and get a bank loan, and the loan's going to be around $2,900. They're going to pay the taxes escrow on top of that, and they also, because they love the property where it is, have to pay the flood insurance. I'm not going to pay it, okay? So our adjusted monthly lease payment just went up to $1,333. That's the payment we're getting. I'm sorry, $3,333. That's the payment we're getting in the door. We're sending out $2,593. The difference is what equals payday number 2 is $740, I believe, if you do the math, whatever that comes to. So what did we sell this at? We sold it at $699. So let's walk through the 3 paydays. By the way, we tied this home up on a 36-month term with the ability to extend it for one term of 6 months if necessary. We brought the buyers in who are fantastic, who frankly the credit won't take long at all, but they need time to save some more down payment because they got to get to the 20%. Okay? Now, follow this. Sell it for $699. Payday number 1, cash up front, $80,000. Now, you have to qualify the buyer, you have to bring them through the right system so that you cover yourself and you have a plan to successfully get the buyer to the end result here. I'm of course skipping some steps, but that is critical in the process. You don't stick someone in the home that can't qualify for the home. You're setting up to fail and you're going to lose on that deal. Okay? So now, did this come all at once? I wish it did. It did not. It came in increments of around 20. Over the next, I think it was only 12 months or so. 12 to 14. Okay, so they have payments. Okay, to get in the home, it's going to be 20 plus the 333, which, by the way, plus 333 here, adds to payday 1 Why? It's a lot of information in this one video, guys, but we keep the first payment because we have contracted with the owner to take over the payments and the flood and all that 30 days after we take occupancy. That means after signing with our attorney, you always have an attorney with the buyers, we'll teach you how to do that, they're going to bring in a check for 20 out of the 80 in the 333. That's payday number one. Payday number two is what? The spread between the 333 and the 2593, which is around 740. That's right here, 740 times 36 months is 26 grand. So far we've got $83,333. We got 26. And what's payday three? Got to go through the math here. Payday three is 699. We sold it. 618 we have it tied up for. That's about an 80 grand profit. Coincidentally, we took 80 grand in the deposits over the next 12 to 14. So we took a lot of our profit in the 36-month term in the next few months. The principal reduction, I'm using round numbers for the video, is around $500 a month for 3 years. That's another $18,000. Less the money paid, as I just said, 80. So you come out with about another $18,000. Guys, add this up. 83,333. 26 comes to what? 109,000. 109,000 plus 18 is 127. So on one deal, on an expired listing, it's 127K over 36 months. Now, is it worth it for you to understand how to get to and properly speak with the right scripts expired calls? Is it important for you to understand how to get to more of those in a shorter period of time once you have the right script and the technology? I would think so. Is it worth it for you to learn how to structure deals so something like this with a high price tag can get sold by marketing it this way with the added cost to the homeowner because they are behaving like a homeowner? Absolutely it is. But this deal structuring, if you to become the real estate master, which is what we're working on with everyone, there's not a set algorithm that says do this and every time you get this and every time you get this deal you get this. I wish there was. You are going to learn how to structure sandwich lease deals better and better as you do them in the trenches with us, which we offer in our JV program, but it's going to take you getting in the fire and doing a few of them. There is no push button easy answer. I wish like a lot of the other gurus I could tell you that. I'm not going to lie to you. There's not. You got to learn this stuff and you got to do it with us. Is it worth it then for you to do all this, understand how to do that, and do several of these per year? In the month that I'm filming this, we had 3 of these going to agreement, working on 2 more. Not all this level. We tend to average as follows, just for full disclosure here. We average around 20 on this one. Okay, this is a high one. We average 20. 2, we average around 308. This is a high one, 740. And 3, we average around 50 something. We're here around 80. Actually, with the principal paid on 98. Pretty heavy on this one. It is above average. It's not the norm. But if you did one of these every quarter or one a year, would you be okay with that? I have JV partners that are replacing their salaries because that is about what they make elsewhere. In particular, I won't give any names, but in particular one in the professional field of engineering that does about this yearly and is upwards of 350 right now and deals under agreement in some shape, form, or fashion with the 3 paydays. So I hope that helps you. If you're watching this on our website because you remember, great. If you're on YouTube or other and you have not dove into the webinar and some of the other things we offer, please do that. You're doing yourself an enormous disservice if you're not diving into some of this material, if in fact you want to get to